XFM Sports in the game.
I don't know whether I'm going to sue.
Welcome to Spotlight. My name is Elijah Male. The show is called The Spotlight. It happens here every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Today, we are with, I call him the volleyball connoisseur. Hey, how are you doing, sir?
Sam just said he's going to sue you.
No, Sam is not going to sue.
I think I'm going to add my case for this case.
First, leave Sam alone. Everybody was asking who is going to sue. Now we have spoiled everything.
I'm saying it. Yeah, I'm fine. You've given me a big title. I take it. I have no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. The last time I was here, we spoke lots of things, and
People didn't get annoyed.
They have no choice.
Hey.
They have no choice. You can get annoyed at whatever level, but when the fact is spoken, it is spoken.
Wow, that's...
Why are you laughing?
Danny,
okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Daniel Okwee. My dad does not want to introduce me properly. He's giving me complicated titles.
Because I know. I know there are people, when they hear you,
Yeah.
they're going, man, that guy is back again. But anyway, you are back.
Yes.
Now I have another man. Sam, you have a lot of hats.
How?
Where should I start?
Yeah, Uncle Sam is enough.
Hey, people need to know, who is Uncle Sam? You see, Uncle Sam needs even a full book to start introducing himself. I'm Uncle Sam. I do this. I do this.
He's still
The titles are too many.
He's still consulting his PR.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
now, what should I say? What should I say?
No, I don't have to say a lot. I think I'm Lukaire David Samuel. I work as the sports administrator at Uganda Christian University. And I'm also the newly elected Vice President Technical of the Uganda University Association of Sports.
You see, in fact, he has missed out certain things. We should stick to that.
Maybe I can say something about Sam. For me, there are only 2 sports administrators I've known at UCU since 2004.
True.
One was Cornelius Engwenyo, and now Uncle Sam.
I think, are there other sports tutors? Because even when I was at UCU, it was Cornelius.
Yeah, I think, I don't know who Cornelius got it from. Was it from...
Jason.
From Jason. Yeah,
Man, I regarded Jason as a coach.
He was assistant to him. Then when he left, the players took over. Yes.
Jason, the American, yes.
The American.
Yeah.
He was holding both positions as the head coach and the sports
He was
tutor.
actually head coach of basketball and actually the director of sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I found Jason, but I regarded him as a head coach. I didn't know that he was the director of sports.
He was actually the director of sports then.
Oh,
Man of many hats.
man, the guy built a foundation. Eh? We are still on it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a fact. We are still on it.
That's actually a bonus for him, because when you build something and 2
Decades later.
it's still standing, then you should have done a good job. Are you guys in touch with him?
Yeah, we're in touch. Actually, it's going to be back next year, so we plan to have some events around and share some fun together.
We should have some alumni come play.
Exactly.
Catch up.
A lot of that's going to happen, and a lot of food too, because this to give us a lot of good burgers to eat.
No wonder cannons were big guys.
Man, Sam was among the smallest
I was
in the
really
team.
among the smallest, yes.
Can you imagine?
Just tall and small.
Yeah, I'm like, yo. But anyway, that team was a team. But
still didn't win.
Yeah, it didn't win, but it gave people challenges.
True.
Just like how you always do. The problem is you have now become a conveyor belt.
So we have always been since we started the program.
But I don't think that's a challenge, because as a university with a sports program, your lifespan with athletes is usually 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Within that time, after that time, you don't expect the athletes to stay with you longer, as opposed to clubs who have the capacity to keep someone maybe for 3 to 4 years competitively. So I think UCU is actually they're serving their purpose.
Of course, you have
because
to
you
say
see what happens is you scout a player, and in the first year is not even at maybe 30%. You've just picked talent.
True.
In the second year, maybe they start sitting on the bench. Third year is when you start getting something out of them. And then, by the time you're getting something out of them, they're leaving.
Let me in fact give Sam an honest opinion. Me as a fan, UCU fan throughout.
Yes.
Sometimes I get disappointed.
True.
There are certain talents I would think, okay, if we can retain 2, 3, 4 talents,
build around
them and maintain the momentum, we can be good to go. Because there are times you think, okay, this UCU team has reached the ceiling, it can now win. Before you know it, all students are graduating. All majority of the best are graduating, and you are like, yo, we have gone back to zero. And you're like, now I'm thinking like this ladies team now. In the next 2 years, it can compete favorably, even next year.
In the next 2 years, they have the potential to win the next 3 years.
You see?
Because the women basketball is easier to predict. It doesn't have a lot of dynamics compared to the men. But the men, let me ask you a question. If, for example, I maintain Titus and Fayed and Dikong at UCU for an extra 2 seasons, what would have stopped Stewell from importing 2 Americans that are already better talented?
Already finished.
They're finished products.
I don't care about
so that they can compete against UCU enough to beat us, even if we had a strong team. The dynamics of women, though, rarely, I don't think there's a club that's willing to invest that much money in women basketball. So most of the competition that we have is based on the available talent within East Africa. So I'm not going to be shocked that JKL or KCC is going to get a talent that is so unique to our environment, or JT. And I'm like, they would easily come and dominate the league. That's why it is easier for UCU to groom within every 5 years to win a championship compared to basketball men, because a man can have a squad of fully finished products in one night, and next year all you had planned can actually end up. But also, like you said, you're a fan. As I tell the fans that I talked about that dilemma is, then where's the space for the other kids to grow?
Exactly.
If you want to keep your quality, that means there's more time taken from these other ones that you're grooming, yet we also need them for the competition, like the university game, 3-on-3. So it's also a risk, because before you know it, you have picked up a team that is full of older players and you're losing the team. Something that happened to a university recently in Morocco. But we shall talk about that part.
My challenge with that kind of Elijah's thought that are the overhead cost, because you see, when someone has finished,
they are finished.
They need to go and get into the job market, work, and the rest of it. So if you keep them at the university, you'll have to start meeting some extra cost.
That's what I'm saying. We are operating as a club, not as a university.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. The cost is too high.
Okay.
And then it's also unfair, actually, to the other kids, because then imagine your teammate is paid, he has housing rent, he has salary, he has blah blah. Then the other kids are thinking, so for us we only get school fees.
Exactly.
No, they need to work hard to attain that.
Yeah, but they won't achieve it in a year or two. So because they are seniors, you know, up to today, it doesn't matter how great a kid comes on court at UCU.
Yeah.
Deep down, I'll tell him, I've been on this court for 20 years, I shoot better than you. So experience cannot just be bought. Like, even if you want to challenge that level of experience is tough. So I feel like the same happens to when you decide to recycle these same players for a long time, you're actually taking away opportunities from other players that need it and actually that will be better with time. And then it will affect who we are, because then even the market will be so small for the good street players coming out, because how many are you grooming anyway?
My worry is we groom,
They go.
then they go, and
then beat us.
No, I don't care about the beating, but when they go, most times, majority of them stall. They don't improve on their skill. And I'm thinking, okay, if these guys stayed with UCU, maybe they would be far ahead. And I don't want to mention names, but I always get disappointed, because when you look at the conveyor belt in this league, it's UCU that is providing more of these talents.
True.
Actually, across board, leave the playing talent, even the coaching. Now, the conveyor belt is UCU. And across board, men and women.
Yeah, to some, you are right in many ways, but I also want to say that it is the structures that are built. We mentioned Jason earlier, and if you look at how Jason looked at sports at UCU, you'll be shocked. There are small things that he wanted to see every day, and he insisted on in character, in how you do things, in how you manage. Now, the same happens with coaching. Most people are not coaching. The man, how he understands basketball and how he looks at basketball and how he coaches basketball is different. Now, most of these young people leave UCU with talent, but then they go into a new world where coaches' demands are different, team structures are different, and so they are now lost. So they're not necessarily they're lost because they don't have the talent anymore, but they don't even know how to fit in, because they have come from a well-structured unit to a very poorly structured community that has high expectations. And those are most of the clubs that we have in Uganda. They are poorly structured, but they have expectations that are very high.
Hey, you're shooting shots.
No, that's a fact.
Whoa.
They are my friends. They spend a lot of money. But when you really sit down with them and say, so how can you tell me, let's just look at facilities.
Yeah.
You get a kid who has been shooting at least in a week about 600 shots on a basketball court, and now you're struggling to find 2 hours to train.
Exactly.
But you're paying him $2 million to play for you. Do you get the dynamic? How structured are you really? There's no playing space for practice, but you have a lot of money to pay him to come and play for you. So in a way, his shooting will have to go down, because he was used to a routine of hitting about 600 a week or even more. Now he's caught up in a place where he gets pulled, throw up about 5 of 10, and then practice done because they have 2 hours, and everyone has to use the same space. And you're not providing even extra space for them to practice or train anywhere because of the lack of facilities everywhere in this country. Those are all dynamics that play into why these kids disappear.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, the reason as to why we have gone straight into it. But in the next segment, we are going to talk UCU women winning the FISU University World Cup 3x3 basket. But again, UCU is doing a lot of sport. Let's talk basketball before we go for a short. Let's talk volleyball before we go for a short commercial break. Again, a lot of players have been at UCU. They have left. Actually, I get so disappointed. When was the last time UCU won in volleyball, Danny?
Won what?
Exactly.
The title.
Which title?
Which title?
The league title.
Never.
You see?
But you know, they are what in football you would call cup holders. They won the National Club Championship in 2004.
Yes.
In Masindi.
That was the first one. Actually, that one is my worst memory and my best memory. I don't even know what to call it. That time I was transitioning from volleyball to basketball, so I was getting more serious.
Yes.
I was getting more serious with basketball then, and so after we won, we were supposed to travel to South Africa for club championship.
Yes.
And administratively, we failed to travel, not because UC didn't have money, because the federation forgot to write a letter of confirmation. So Jason was here looking for passports and what, and then he goes to the federation, and then we write an email to South Africa from them that we are ready to travel.
Yeah.
And then receive a communication.
There is no confirmation.
That you didn't confirm, so you were replaced. And then the Mzungu sat on his table and he was
very disappointed
with everyone in Uganda almost.
And let me tell you, that team that won the club championship in Masindi had enormous talent.
Yes, look at they're still managing almost teams. They're coaching. They're
for Okapis. There was
Tom.
There's a guy.
Cornelius.
There's a guy from Rwanda who was the setter.
Innocent.
Really, that was a team. There's another guy. There's a guy who's now working with Mutebi
Martin. Yes.
Martin is at Centenary Bank.
There was Okwee Steven.
Yeah. It was rich with talent. It was rich with talent.
Yeah. And it had good leadership. Ofo was a unique boy. I think for me, sometimes I tell people old stories, but I feel like Ofo and his character was good for leadership at that time.
Exactly.
Because I remember he used to get us out of bed to go and run. I hated him for that, but I was a young player. Actually, it's one of the reasons why I kind of thought, I want to actually say that I became a sportsman because of Ofo.
Oh, interesting.
Not that I didn't know sports, but understanding that it takes work.
What it takes to win.
Yes.
To become better.
Oh boy, it would get me out of bed at 6 to go and run Ankura. Ankura Hill is a better field, and we say we're all going and I'm leading. So there's no hiding. Not like he's sending you to run where he's not running.
No, he's there.
And when you have a leader like that, you kind of grow into new characters that you never thought you had. So, yeah.
And you can see they from that UCU team, they formed the core of Nemo Stars that went on to dominate for about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm glad most of them are still in the structures at Nemo Stars. Ofo is a coach of the ladies. Okapis is coaching the men. Tom is technical director. So really, like you said, UCU's impact in the sports sector in Uganda is big.
Me as a fan, I'm always disappointed. Like every season, I'm so sure at least UCU is going to win.
Yeah.
Then I get disappointed. I'm like,
in volleyball,
I seriously in volleyball. Let's first leave basketball, but volleyball.
No, like you've been explaining in basketball, it's the same problem in volleyball. You have 3 years to work with an athlete.
Yeah.
The moment they start shining, and the moment they start getting the flowers, they are going.
Yeah, because
look at what has formed Sportes now.
Exactly.
You start from the Marino time.
Everybody who talks about Sportes just torments me.
Yeah, because half of the foundation.
Man, the foundation, the core of that team is UCU.
And you know when they get them? They get them when they are maybe left with a semester or something.
Well, actually, most times a year to go.
They take them.
That's why I hate that team.
And when they take them, that very season they vanish.
Yeah, but at least I'll be honest and say they have kept one thing true.
Yeah.
They promise to pay for those kids, and they always pay.
They do.
At least for the clubs that have promised to do that, they're the only one that I can vouch for and say it doesn't matter if they're doing masters, they're doing no more bachelors. They have honest always kept their word with their school fees, and so at least I have students still for me to boost my university team, but I lose good talent to a club like Sportes. We are still working around it. We shall figure it out soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a short commercial break. When we return, we are talking 3x3 World Cup basketball. Then we are also going to talk about the university games that are going to be happening at UCU, but also we are going to talk everything to do with basketball, volleyball, football. I know people are complaining, mwogera mupira goka even early in the morning, but when we talk about other things, you don't listen in. But you guys, anyway, the show is called The Spotlight. It happens here every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. on 94.8 XFM.
What up? 94.8 XFM. Today's hit music. Turn up.
Yo, que café. Miranda, tukabane 2 liter full. Biggie bottle, let the celebration go. Family time, let the happiness go. Tukabane vibes, let the good times flow. Pepsi Mountain Dew Miranda. Share the love, share the joy. Big flavor, big smiles. Mountain Dew, Pepsi Miranda. To govern this festive season and let the good times flow. Buy any 2 bottles of 2 liter Pepsi, Miranda, Mountain Dew, and a bottle of Aquafina for only 9,000 shillings and get a free 330 ml soda. To govern a 2 liter and a Pepsi.
Hello, Market by Momo is calling, and the buzz is all about big deals on genuine products. Grab electronics, groceries, phones, and more at prices you will love. Everything is easy, safe, and delivered straight to you. Chakari! Shop online with Market by Momo. We deliver. Log on to market.momo.africa or use the My MTN app or the new Momo app to register and shop online. Market by Momo is from MTN and powered by MasterCard.
Noor, are you sick?
Sick? Nope. Do I look sick to you?
Well, I've observed you since yesterday. You've been swallowing tabs. Do you have any illness of the sort I should know? Feel free and tell me, because it's not advisable to take medication without a doctor's prescription.
Oh, yes, Maggie. But you also know my issues with Tom. I do take them, but keep it to the 2 of us. I don't want other people to know about it. They might even tell my daddy, and he sent me away from home.
Fine, Noor. However, the immediate problem is not with these tabs you take. It's with the people you sleep around with.
But how does that concern me? As long as I don't get pregnant.
Noor, I can't believe you think like that. You're making a very big mistake. As teenagers, we have to be very careful about having sex. And much as we protect ourselves from getting pregnant, we stand higher chances of getting STIs, HIV, and other infections. The best way to avoid all these is by abstaining or using a condom. And if you can't use a condom, then get a faithful partner. Test for HIV/AIDS and the likes. Then you can freely enjoy family planning methods.
This message is brought to you by Nagro Teenage Information and Health Center in collaboration with Ministry of Health with financial support
by UNICEF.
94.8 FM. XFM Sports in the game.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Elijah Male. I'm with Daniel Okwee. I'm with Sam Lukaire. And we are joined by Gayub man. What are you doing? Say what you are doing to the listen.
I'm glad to see Sam here, because we had some battles on the court many years ago.
True.
First off,
and who won?
When we were still in the league, of course. When we were still playing for the senior team, of course, they were unbeatable. But when it came down to the junior team,
I got beaten.
At that time, our team was
JVC. I man, that team also.
We were on the rise. So
JVC, what was JVC?
By the way, what happened to JVC?
University. It's one that turned out to become more savior now.
No, but JVC in follow was what?
Actually, it was actually just JV, University. You see University team. So it was University. That's all. But just never used the word. So everyone just would hear the word JV and they were like, what are they saying? Yeah, because I think around 20... I hope I don't give the wrong dates. I think 2011 or something. We had, actually earlier than that, I think 2009-10, we visited the games of high school that happened in Ndeje, that area. So we visited those games, as you see, you all dressed up in, you see, t-shirts and stuff. And so we found the games were kind of disorganized. But then we picked up, like those teams that show up for Coca-Cola games and they don't even have a coach, they have sports master.
Yeah.
So we kind of did a CSR of sorts, and we all distribute ourselves in different teams that we are associated to. Like me, I went and coached Ginger College because I come from Busoga. And so we end up helping kids play some organized basketball for a day. In a competition, actually, like phone them, just look at them play and say, that's not how you lay up, we became like on-ground coaches. So after that event, we kind of had a problem. All young people
wanted to be at UCU.
So they end up storming UCU like a flood, wow.
Yeah.
Now you be on a basketball court and you have like 30, 150 real basketballers. They can't fit in the cannons because that time really they had grown to a level where it was so good.
They were cannons.
And then
explosive.
These kids have this passion. You see it every day. So somehow they convinced this guy to accept a team called JV, which was like a junior varsity team. And then I think they sat down with Nick and a few guys and talked about it, and Cornelius, and then they were like, I think
let's give them a shot.
So they have also where to play.
Those without bursaries.
Actually. Even Canon is actually up to they used to have guys who don't have bursaries. Just depends on how good you are. Yeah, so they ended up starting that team, and they also became competitive. Now the dilemma we had is, at that time it was actually possible for that team even to have qualified into the top league. But then we ask ourselves, so does UC end up with two teams in the league, like what's happening in volleyball, which I don't believe should happen. We shall talk about that later. And so we're stuck, and we kept competing. Then we qualified by mistake. We won, really. So after they won, I think they beat Rhino. And that final was ended in Lugogo with Chugui hitting a tough three that we never believed would happen. And now we had a team.
You had two teams.
Yes. So while we're still figuring out what to do, our Severe Basketball shows up and says, we have a ministry, blah, blah, blah. Would think if it's possible, you allow us to take that slot. Yeah, we were like, thank God. Christian ministry.
You have saved us.
Take the kids if you want. And actually, you see, that's the problem also we had, that most of the kids that migrated with it were the UC JV players. The Watchers, the Coma, end up in that team, and then the Eddie and a lot of other kids. So they got there, and then that's how they save UC from JV. But then we can't start again to build another team because the next generation wasn't that good in basketball. We didn't have enough kids who want to play. So we got the rest and moved them to Phenoms. The ones that were still students, we moved them to Phenoms that I just started when I was coaching that team by then. So people get to enjoy Phenoms for a few years. Then later, retirement. And I don't know where Phenoms is today, but
I think Elijah didn't do justice to Charles's introduction. Because he's always here.
Everyone knows Charles. So
it's okay. Okay. You know what happens is, even if the president, president is known by everyone.
I know where you're trying to go, but it's irrelevant. But if you're talking about what I did in the league, what I did in the league is it's not news.
But honestly though, I think it was a well-developed point guard that most people would actually agree.
Oh, Charles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on us who played basketball that is structured, I think he was just caught up in the wrong group of teams. But his kind of background of basketball showed that he could handle the ball better. He liked control.
Yeah.
If he had played in teams like ours, I think he would even have played longer.
The man, I think he feared big teams. He was always happy with smaller teams. The time I watched him playing for Sharing.
Sharing was the home team.
Listen, I watched Charles playing for Sharing, and I felt like he was the everything of the team.
He was we wanted where he could be the GOAT.
Exactly. Because you see, he's on court. He's the one, you see his mind is at the bench.
Once called a sub.
Yes. But he would be doing his stuff. You get it, eh? He has his ball, he's doing his stuff, and you can't fault him. So I was like the father of the team.
No, it was the home team. We grew up
around
Zambia, so we liked basketball there. So there was loyalty. So it was more than just being a player.
Until you sold it.
But is that the reason you never played for any other team? Loyalty?
It even never crossed my mind that I could do Sharing. It was comfortable for me because I was working, and it was had other responsibilities which could be tolerated at sharing. At other clubs where they really want to win,
It's
they might say
impossible.
we need you to train so many times, we need you to be in the gym.
Yeah.
There was no time for that.
But who has been your top player at sharing?
We've had some good players over the years. There's that generation that was before us. The Chikonyogos, Jackson Chikonyogo, we had Carlos, even Chigenya played there for some time. We had some interesting players. Even Subi played there. Subi, who later went on to play for the Falcons.
Yes. America.
Then the generation left, and the generation of the Michael, we call him TC, came, and now our Sevilla coach also came.
Yeah.
We had some intriguing players. Even in the end, we had the Savokas. Savoka also came towards the end of the club's existence. So we've had some really wonderful players.
Where do you drop the future?
We are doing
The
Chikade
future.
right
Even
now.
the future.
The audience is so lost. They're
No,
like,
no,
what they're like, man, what are these guys talking about?
No,
But
actually-
you need to understand the history of our game.
So yeah, the team has had some interesting players over
But I
there.
think when you let the future go, you also decided now let's go.
What had happened is that at the time, we first of all, we didn't have a sponsor. Okay, we had a sponsor being Sharing Youth Center in Zambia, but their sponsorship was consisted in giving you a
The
place to
facility,
train
yeah.
and maybe helping you with the track. So you really and maybe keeping your jerseys, washing them. So theirs was really in kind for the most part. As far as salaries were concerned, the players who earned salaries.
It was for Charles.
Yeah, it's the managers of the team who had to look, and they were not very rich.
Yeah.
There were guys we grew up with. They also
Because
working.
another group of passionate
Yeah,
people.
so it came to a point where when COVID came, we were actually preparing to play that season, 2020, when COVID happened. And I think we were preparing to have a very good team, an interesting team. But after that break, it was clear that the struggles and the strain that the management has been having, they could no longer carry them. So we had two options. Either the team is dissolved, or we find another institution that can take up the team. Victoria University were willing to take up the club.
Well, I had that conversation.
Yeah, and we decided, you know what, let's hand over the club because we don't have a sponsor, and the guys who have been running the club for all these years feel like they can't carry the load. And so Victoria stepped up. They took over the club. So for the first season, it was actually called Victoria Sharing.
Yeah.
Because that's what, at the time, the rules demanded.
The rule still demand up to today.
I don't think so, because we've seen Summit
Yeah.
this year. Summit didn't have Our
Summit,
Savior
did
this
Summit
year.
change the name?
It's not called Our Savior. So maybe the rules are applied differently depending on the team. But yeah, you're right. That's what the rules say. But sometimes there are rules that are ignored. No one is really
Conveniently
pushing.
ignored. I've seen it across. I've seen it.
So that's
in
what
rugby,
happened.
I've seen
It was more of, we love the team.
Yeah.
We want to keep going, but it's expensive. And the dynamics have changed. Today's player, as you've been talking, is very different from the players when we were growing up. It was different.
Yeah.
It was passion.
Then it was passion.
There was so much
Now-
passion.
Yeah.
Today
Now you have to take
it's
something.
difficult.
Today it's money
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
than
it's
the
money
passion.
first.
Now it's benefits first.
And even when a
Just
player is
money.
not good enough, the first thing they think about is how much are you
Oh
Yeah.
yes, oh yes. Thank you for saying that. When I was Malaya, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just want to re-emphasize. I went to look for players in one of the school's events, and I was wearing a KVC kit. So I was speaking to them. I was like, I'm coaching at KVC. I'd love you to join us during our holiday program. Your height is good. I think I overpraised the young man. He kept quiet. Then he told me, Coach, hold on. Let me speak to my colleague. Then I come back. Now he came back with some young man. I think he was in senior 3. With him,
His manager.
his manager. Like he didn't have the size, but I think he could speak. So he told me, this is my manager. I was like, oh, interesting. You're already in a professional setup. So how do you take this up? Told me, now my manager has asked me a question, which I think he can ask you. So the manager was straight. How much are you buying my player? I said, the man is in senior 3. So you want us to buy him? I've just told him he has potential.
Yeah.
Now you want us to buy into his potential. How does it work? He said,
Yeah.
no.
He hasn't even proved himself.
Yeah.
In
Nothing.
a competitive setup. He hasn't even played a minute.
No, I just saw the height, the way he was walking. I looked at the height and I was like, this man can do something. I tossed the ball to him and the way he handled it, I was like, yeah, he has some potential he can work with. Then the manager told me, by the way, apart from that, we have a sign-on fee. And you have to tell us his salary. I told the man, let's compare notes in 3 years. I wish you the best. But when I was at the university games in Indeje, so we took the boys out in some pub, and my talented player was a DJ.
But that's the reality on the ground. It's so funny that it's in secondary schools, kids are bought 100 and more millions.
You're talking about football.
Even across board. Have you seen the Bukedia's volleyball team?
Yeah, because they bought it from another university, from another school to another school. Yeah. What people don't understand though is that, let me ask you, okay, I don't know enough about these sports. I want to ask you, out of those 100 million, how much went to the students themselves?
Nothing.
So your value.
It'd be a phone.
You see, it's like when you're a bank teller and you hold money every day, but it's not your money.
Sure.
You can actually walk out every day feeling like you're rich. Psychologically, because you touch money every day, you may sleep more peacefully. But if they call you from home and told you we need 50 million, we have a problem, you still actually have the same stress.
Yes, sure.
Now, sometimes these kids are caught up in that mindset because they see money being used as a media of moving them from one place to another, and they think they're not holding the money. I know of a kid, I want to mention his name because he's still a football player. While he was in S4, he was bought by one of those schools. And I remember I knew the manager personally. So they paid him his 10 million, paid the kid 20 million, bought a plot of land for the kid, and I think and something for the parents somewhere. That kid by that time was one of the strongest shooters towards the goal. Right now, I've been waiting for him even see his name on the list of a big league goal. I don't see it. Now, if I went to that same school and asked them the record, okay, this kid that you bought all this match, show me the records of how he improved your team. You'll be maybe shocked there's even no clear record of that performance.
That's true.
Now, may have no problem with the money, but then we have to go back to the question. We have to start looking at performance-based. Can we start? You see, the American system has a way they rank players before they get signed to the NBA, so that their stats that are followed to know who is the topmost player, who will get the most money. So there's no in between there. There's someone who just get a crazy deal from nowhere. No, there's a structure. So if you don't make the top 50, then you can't be among the money bracket. You get the idea.
Money,
So you can't ask for this much money. Now the problem is we are spending all that money on talent we cannot even describe ourselves. Just because Okwee says I know volleyball and this kid is the thing, you say, how much? Which school is he in? He's in Seta High. You have to get this kid. Just because of the opinion of Okwee. Then 2 years later, there's even no fact that shows that he has the potential. So, me, I have no problem with the money. I think I just have a problem with who is taking that money and the process through which
we are dealing with chances. Anyway, let's go for a short commercial break. When we return, the topics are ladies and gentlemen, we are talking sports, and we have gone back to Chikade. We are giving you Kasavu and Kanyama, and we are giving you across board football, volleyball, basketball. But the show is called The Spotlight. It happens here every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. on 94.8 XFM.
What up? 94.8 XFM. Today's hit music. Turn up. Kampala loves today's hit music.
It has good news, which I even admire this a lot.
It also gives us correct information.
It's XFM. I just enjoy it.
Playing today's hit music all day, every day. 94.8 XFM. 94.8 XFM.
You know I'm listening.
Today's hit music. Turn up. Turn up.
The only water that can quench my thirst. Aquafina, we are good. Aquafina, hydration
always want more in life. That's why Aquafina is more expertly filtered than any other drinking water in Uganda, bringing you clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and available at only 1,000 shillings.
The Uganda Communications Commission is here to remind all broadcasters and media houses of your obligation to remain impartial and non-partisan during this electoral period. As a broadcaster, you play a crucial role in shaping public opinion. It is therefore critical to ensure that news and current affairs programs are fair, balanced, and free from political bias. The Commission has noted with concern cases where some presenters are actively campaigning for political positions, endorsing candidates, or showing bias in their reporting. Such actions erode public trust and compromise the independence of the media. Broadcasters are therefore urged to put in place strong editorial policies and codes of ethics, including clear guidelines for conduct both on air and on social media. Where a presenter is seeking political office, they should step aside to avoid conflict of interest. Let's work together to protect the integrity of our airwaves and uphold professionalism. For further information on this matter, please contact the Uganda Communications Commission located at UCC House, Bogolodi, Kampala, and all UCC regional offices.
This is Reggae Salute on 94.8 XFM. Right from 3 p.m. every Sunday, I do play Most Wanted Entertainer right here, the Epic Major, alongside Mr. DJ Sean. Don't worry about a thing. Take you on a reggae journey, roots, dancehall, conscious vibes, and the fullest, freshest rhythms straight from the yard to UG. Yeah, every Sunday, same time, same place. Reggae Salute is where the vibes stay real.
On 94.8 XFM.
There are trips to the hospital, and then there are family trips to look forward to. There's the occasional health scare, and then there's bouncing back stronger. There's living, and there's living free.
Let your parents embrace the carefree golden years with J Senior. This cover is designed for seniors aged over 65 and offers ideal plans for those you love most. SMS HELP to 6115 or call 0800 211 711 today. Jubilee Health Insurance. Live free. Jubilee Life Company of Uganda Limited is regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Freshness alerts. Fresh stuff on 94.8 XFM. Turn up.
You can't get fresher than this.
Today's hit music.
Vital Signs, where your health comes first on 94.8 XFM.
Avoid self-medication. Always consult a doctor. Taking medication without a prescription can lead to drug resistance or side effects.
Vital Signs, where your health comes first on 94.8 XFM.
XFM. Today's hit music.
Turn it up.
XFM Sports in the game.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Elijah Male is my name. I'm with Daniel Okwee, Charles Mutebi, and Sam Lukaire. But Charles, I'm not going to start with Charles. Let me start with, because when I start with Charles, he might drift us. Okay. Charles, I'm going to mute you. UCU is from winning a bronze medal in the club in the FISU University World Cup 3x3 basketball. Sam, what does it mean for Uganda? Actually for Africa, because it's the first medal.
Not actually for the first medal. After COVID, there was the championship that took place in South Africa, a qualifier where we didn't participate. Egypt won.
One silver.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
No. They won gold, the women. And then went to the first World Cup in Dubai and went to the final. But because it was in a period when sports wasn't that much followed in that time, no one really kept up on that performance. But actually, that time they went, I think, with Ndejemen. Ndejemen got worked as always, like the same way they beat my boys of UCU, because the competition of the men is still at a high end. But the girls of, I think that time university, it's called American University of Egypt, I think.
Those guys are good.
They were good enough. So they played up the final. Actually, I watched every game. The games are still actually on YouTube. But it's just at a period at that time, they don't really have everyone following and everyone knowing what's going on. And also, too, 3-on-3 hadn't picked up the hype it has right now. Lucky for us, winning a bronze, it was like the hype moment. We are in the moment when everyone is following. There's lots of social media buzzing. There's a lot of following. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of YouTube. And then everyone is seeing us perform, and lucky enough we missed out on the semi-final, on going to the final, and ended up in a bronze medal match. And we played a very good team that was also heartbroken that they didn't make the final, and we capitalized on showing up. I think I've not seen a player play so well like Tracy did. So in my time of basketball, actually at UCU, I've only seen two players do that well. One was Ekon Rose. When we played the league in 2022, last final Ekon played that.
When you came back from 2-0 down in the final.
Ekon Rose would average 20 rebounds and about 25 points. Now, a team cannot lose when you have a player like that. Somehow things work. And this is what happens with Tracy. Every time we needed a shot, she would throw it up. So, and to always count. So then we're winning by force because
just like how it was here at Hams, during the final.
Actually, at Hams I didn't really pay attention. At Hams, it looked like it was always going to be us to win. Doesn't matter how poor we play, because all the other teams are not really sparking enough to threaten. But when they were in Brazil, I was scared actually most of the time. I was really worried. Then they won the first game. Then I started getting excited. Then they won the second one. I got more excited. By the third one, I was so emotional. I think I was scared now. I wasn't even excited because I was now, it was closer to becoming something important. Reality. No, now the reality was we might actually be breaking history here. So the pressure turned very much. So it is exciting that they're in that level. They have won at that stage. For UCU basketball, I think it is evidence of the years of investment. And most people think that you have to go once and win. It takes years.
It takes time.
And a lot of growth and a lot of improvement and a lot of learning for you to be there. So this for me is a testament that we have come a long way. And at least for our years of participation, it is paying off now. So I'm happy about the excitement that it has brought around UCU sports, around basketball. But I say it should be something exciting for the federation more than anything.
Are they?
More than
they should be. And I'm happy that what people don't notice about all this year is that the 3-on-3 function of the federation and UCU together has been consistent almost throughout the year. And that is contributed to how we performed. Because most of these players have been part of the U23.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they managed to do the African Cup, which they won. They managed to do to travel to Europe for the World Tour. I think they had about 2 different events. They had one in France and one in, I think, Hungary. Those events give these players enough exposure.
That's true.
So by the time they walk back on court and they are meeting European teams, they're not looking at them as European. They're saying, this one we beat.
Yeah.
I saw that girl. Even that team lost. So now they are not seeing unique faces. They're seeing faces they're familiar with, whose skills they know, and now they can compete favorably. So I think this was something that we won as UCU, but something also we won as Uganda, because it's a sign of both investing into these processes for these players to grow. And for me, as UCU, like the team that played the African Cup, all the 6 players are UCU people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the coach is UCU, so it's like the UCU team moved for the qualifier, played the qualifier, won it. That builds chemistry, that builds growth. So now you start trust each other. Then they have been running the same plays through the different phases, so they're not getting unique things. So chemistry now has grown. So what I didn't believe is that actually they've got to World Cup and win and compete, even when they had gone through all that. But now that I've seen it, I think it's just something we just have to keep doing if we need to win. Like, make sure that these processes are continuous for these kids to grow. They have enough exposure, they grow their chemistry, then they'll go out and compete.
Leading me to ask Sam, do you think it's high time now we have people who play 3x3 as a career? Because we have seen in the other countries, people are doing tours. They are specifically doing 3x3. Is it time now to also have teams focusing on 3x3?
Or even have a league specifically
for 3x3.
Yeah, there are regional leagues going on before Sam comes in. And so they I think
the first tour was at UCU actually.
Yeah, the first tour was
at UCU, yes.
So I think, and this is not even the first edition. Even last year it was held.
Yes.
So FIBA Africa is intention. I mean, the president of the 3-on-3 FIBA at FIBA is what? Is Ambrose
Ashoba.
So he's here. He's the chairman of
here we are not intention. Because if it's not the sponsor, that tournament you are talking about, it wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, but sponsors are partners.
Charlie.
Exactly. And so if one of them wasn't around, it wouldn't happen still. So for me, I think the whole concept is we need to look more critically at the opportunities that are available for 3-on-3 and say, what can we do better? I was actually talking to the sponsor about the 3-on-3 event that was at UC, and I was telling him, these are stops and these kids are playing and they're not even getting the right ranking because you're not taking over of the online platforms. You're just only entering scores, but these kids have a profile that needs to be
put out there.
The database.
Yeah, in the database, and they saw how many baskets were scored, how many tours have they played. This contributes to their ranking overall in the world. And then we shall have these kids overall starting be appreciated. People don't know about 3-on-3. Every game you play ranks you.
Yeah.
So then it gives you points, and those points speak about how good you are and how your experience. So we don't just say he's a good player. No, we have to use systems. Now, when they play these tours and don't do that, that means they're just going through something that has no record of what they did. So I was telling him, you need to improve this and make sure it happens. So the intention is, to be back to your question, I have been thinking about it personally. Because I was thinking, as Africa, what happens if we started an African tour? Johannesburg, Nairobi, Kenya. Our cities have a lot of things to offer beyond basketball, but then this is a sport you can fit in the middle of City Square. You can fit in the middle of Nairobi on one of those top buildings. It can be anywhere. And so because of its potential to be anywhere, we need to rethink that whole concept and say, how does this build into, I don't want to use the word Africanity, but how does it become something we can do as Africa? Because it's more affordable. You're moving about 10 people. You're not moving a village that needs a lot of money. Okwee will tell you how much money teams spend on traveling. So I think for me, you can even break it down to East Africa, to West Africa, then you do one African championship somewhere. I think that's what I appeal for. And then when we can do that, then we can get these kids to say, instead of you running around looking for what to do, you have a gig here, you play championships, it pays this much, after we win, you earn this much. And then these kids will focus on it. But when you can't set all these parameters for them to think about it as a sport, just playing it may be risky because there's less activity in 3-on-3 than it is in 5-on-5.
Okay, Charles.
Yeah, of course, one of the challenges you have, it's a good idea that Lukaire is talking about, but one of the problems why an African 3-on-3 league may take long to materialize is that FIBA Africa are not interested in spending money. And for you to do that, you'd have to spend
a lot of money.
The reason why you have the BAL being successful is because FIBA doesn't spend. That's an NBA franchise. So it's the NBA that invests. But the challenge is that 3-on-3 is not big in the US as much as 5-on-5. So America is not really that big on 3-on-3 basketball. So there's that gap. FIBA Africa itself is not really going to invest in it, and yet it has huge potential, as he has said. So again, I think it would have to come from maybe a huge multinational company like say Coke or whatever that wants to push a product, a unique product, and they use the 3-on-3 basketball as the. But if you're waiting on FIBA Africa,
or China picks it up to rival America.
Done with these
or
politics.
something like that. But China itself has its own sports that they try to push, like football, for instance. So basketball is still an American sport, whether it's 3-on-3 or 5-on-5. It's just that the NBA itself is a huge product. So they'll always, first and foremost, support and invest in the NBA. That's why they're trying to create NBA Europe. Because BAL is NBA in Africa, and now they're trying to spread their wings and go to Europe. So the idea of the 3-on-3 being taken up and turning into what some sees here, I think is very good. It's going to be very difficult because FIBA in general don't really invest.
They don't. In
basketball.
I agree.
They take out money more than anything.
It is one of those difficult conversations to explain to people that actually while they bring basketball, they are not actually intentional about adding money. And I think one of the things I ask FIBA to do is not to spend the money, but learn to make money. I think they have a product that they can push, but they are not being so intentional. If they can borrow from their friends in football pushes products that don't even make sense, and they still end up with, like right now we are playing what is it called? Under 17 CAF something of Africa. You get the idea. And this product will have get money. So I feel like FIBA sometimes is just not really out there trying to build their brands enough. But if they can, I think there's potential there.
Let's go for a short commercial break. When we return, we are talking UCU. What do I call them? UCU house
games at UCU.
By the other games we did cover were at Makerere, though UCU helped out. We see what it means to have
the previous one.
Yes. So the other, though they were at UCU, but it was Makerere hosting.
At UCU.
At UCU. Man. Okay, let's go for a short commercial.
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
XFM. Today's hit music. Turn it up.
Nkulaba weyagala obulamu bunyuma bwa kuchiringa. That's when you think, do I have a plan B? Bulamu bunyuma olina ekiddako ng'olina plan B. Jubilee has a smart plan for you, has a smart plan for you. Jubilee lets you do what you want to do, for you to be what you want to be. There's a bright future for everyone if Jubilee, Jubilee has a smart plan for you, Jubilee has a smart plan for you.
Build your future with Jubilee Life Insurance. Sign up for the Jubilee Smart Save plan and enjoy unique benefits for you and your family. Visit www.jubileeinsurance.com or call 0800 211 711 today. Jubilee Life Insurance Company of Uganda Limited is regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda.
With the new Momo app, sending money to anyone is now effortless. Enjoy free transfers every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, straight from your phone to theirs. No queues, no hassle, just instant, secure and convenient transfers to anyone, anytime. Download the Momo app today and send money free of charge every weekend. MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited, regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
This is a profile of what's trending in Kampala.
There is something we don't know. I'm like,
Baby, I'm right here when you need to roll one.
you know that's the vibe in the bar, in the bar, in the bar, in the bar.
Kaba, 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 kaba.
94.8 XFM keeps you plugged in to the coolest stuff around. Local and global networks with a fresh selection of today's hit music. Turn up 94.8 XFM. Right now. Right now.
This station is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
XFM Sports in the game.
Spotlight is the name of the show. My name is Elijah Male. It happens here every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. on 94.8 XFM. I'm with Sam Lukaire. I'm with Daniel Okwee and Charles Mutebi. Still talking about UCU. You are hosting this year's House Games. Actually, the dates are from 16th to 22nd. 16th, 17th. 17th to 23rd December at UCU. What makes these games different?
I think that's where we should start. UC is what?
Hosting.
It's hosting. Yeah, because ideally, last time we were like we're saving the day. The game is to happen somewhere, and we are the ones that we are nearly ready to be able to provide space to do that. So we basically did an emergency gig of sorts, and the games happened. This time we officially actually announced last year during the General Assembly of House that we shall be the host. So it has been a full year of us planning and thinking and hoping. So UC is hosting. We hope that we shall put up a good show. That the people who are coming in will enjoy themselves. That there will be enough activity for the students on quality surfaces and well prepared fields, and that they will enjoy that 1 week in Mukono.
My worry is, thank God you are here. We always, and I don't know why, when these games are happening, actually it cuts across sports here in the country. The organizers don't think about the experience.
They don't know what?
They don't think about the experience of
the student, of the participant.
Leave the participants themselves, even those who come in to watch, because
the fans.
The fans. Besides watching, let's say, football, what else do you bring on board? And I've seen people, like, I didn't know at one particular time that, let's say, in the US we can have a halftime show after, let's say, basketball game, and you're like, okay, I didn't think about this. I didn't think that in football we can have a halftime show
until the Club World Cup.
Telling you that the games have shifted, and we are not deliberate about this.
Maybe I can chip in first.
Please.
before Sam. I have seen them offer entertainment at the opening and closing ceremony, which is good. The challenge with what you're talking about is that there are so many sports disciplines. I don't know how many disciplines you have now. Could be 14.
They're going to be 19.
19. So let's say if you start doing the fans experience, your halftime show you're talking about, even at the semi-finals, it is so depleting in terms of resources and people, most especially money. It will cost UCA a lot of money. Consider that they came in, saved the day last year as hosts, so they invested some money into their infrastructure. Now they even have to make the infrastructure better. I've seen lots of pictures flowing around on the basketball court. How
the courts are looking. Wow. I'm in fact bringing my drone. Hey, to do the needful.
So it's looking good. So I don't know how UCU or else will manage your call, because already there are lots of spendings. Proper spendings.
Then everything requires spending.
Yes.
Hey.
Every good thing comes at a cost. I agree. I think overall sports events in Uganda I've still failed to answer the question of the experience.
Fans experience.
And one partly is because we don't really work in unison with many other groups. UC is hosting house. They sit on the table, discuss mostly the technical part of the game and the facilities, because those are things that fall within their normal budget. Now, when you talk about the experience, it requires partners, requires engagement, requires people that are thinking outside the box, people that are actually not even thinking sports at all. You know, the halftime show in I don't have the numbers, but I'll tell you that if you did a survey right now online and found out how much money was spent and how much money was realized by the halftime show during the Club World Cup, you'll be shocked. Because it's actually a full event of itself that requires people knowing that there will be a 30 minutes interval that will have us listen to Drake, J-Lo, who like all these big artists, and so everyone is on his TV at that time to watch that event. Now, for you may think, that even you guys could do that, get artists. Yes, but do they command the same return of investment that if we got them in, it will create a level of excitement, to create a friends of online activity, to create a lot of other things. Before you talk about the experience, there are things that we don't do. Like, for example, have you realized that most of our events are so calm? Their kids were played, I think for me, they played versus sport. I think when Mutebi can attest to this, even Okwee, I think. We don't even have photos.
Exactly. We don't have a database.
You get it? No, like just giving you experience that when I was playing, there's action photos that they were taken, and you feel like a lot of your memories were saved. You actually talk about events like you never expected. I think those who don't know, there's an event that was one of the best many years ago called the UATL Games.
UATL Games, yeah.
One of the best events, I think, for universities that has existed. And some of us talk about it because we understood the competition inside the event. For me, I just played. I didn't care if you were brought in as a mercenary. All I knew is that is this university, this is my university, we're going to be that team, period. And the competition was too high. But if you ask me, show me memories of that event, all I have is in my head. And I feel like those are some of the areas we need to tackle and say, how do we make this event, at least even for the participants themselves, be memorable?
So that's what you should be telling us.
Yeah,
that's what you should be telling us.
Still thinking.
Think about it as he asked the question. I have time.
Hey, he still has time.
I have time. I have up to December.
As you're thinking about, December is not far.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it. Is there going to be a live stream? Is it gonna be
TV? Okay. There are things that I take. At least I'm going to say there are things that we take for granted. For example, all games we planned. We're working with the Vision Group to make sure that our games are covered fully with online streaming, TV presence. Radio talk shows. We have ideas where they will run some shows on campus so that we have normal student engagement. We're going to have them. We are going to have a lot of online activity because internet, you see, is like a need. It's not a want. So people have to be online.
Charles can migrate and work from that.
Yeah, actually, don't just migrate and work. You have space. There's when you arrive and start asking, so where do we go? He has a table, he has a computer with internet, he has a cable if he wants to use a laptop. He has a desk that can actually the full week will not feel a burden for him. And what I don't have is a good bed, but at least you'll have food. Now, what I'm saying is we need these people to be on ground to give these participants as much, even those that are just following the game from afar, be able to be part of the games. And there's a website that's going to run soon. We shall be launching it for the games so that we can do the fixtures, do photos so that people can always find their photos online. All that are some of the things that we're going to do for the students.
Talking about, by the way, if a sponsor is listening in, how many students are going to be part of these games?
I think we are expecting about a total of 30 universities. On average of 100 people, that will take us about 3,000. But I'm going to be very and say about 2,000.
2,000?
Yeah, I'm being very nice. But the truth is there's a potential that we can have 3,000 or more people in that event if all universities that have promised to confirm.
The facilities you have, are they enough for your expectations, or you're going to think of the institutions around?
Oh yeah, you can never say we have enough. With more than 2,000 people coming around, even us, as you see, we have enough space for them to walk around but not to sleep, for example. So we need all the hostels, we need all the hotels. You see, if you're saying we have 3,000 athletes, it means that you have at least 200 officials or more. Actually 200 is a small number, about 300 of those. And so that means they need better accommodation somewhere. Now, this does not include deans and VCs and who that will also want to be part of those events. So everyone right now has to be a partner in one way or the other to make sure that we can accommodate and also give a good experience to everyone.
We are in things. We are going to be in things. Charlie, why are you looking at me like that?
I know Kamode loves going to UCU.
No,
he likes the environment.
He goes home.
If there's one university loves traveling to work, it's UCU. I feel though that there is need for other universities to match the enthusiasm and commitment that UCU currently have. It was said that Ndeje have since taken a different direction.
Do you want to go there now?
No, it's the reality. It is sad that Ndeje, who are a powerhouse
for many years,
in not just Uganda but Africa, suddenly decided to abandon sport. I think they did a huge disservice, not just to the university but to Ugandan sport as a whole. And of course Makere, as we saw last year, couldn't even host the games. There's way more interest in university sport than the universities themselves are being able to manage. So interest is far outpacing the organization standards. The standards of organization and management generally at universities are not rising to the level of the interest and the need that we see. And I think that is doing a disservice to, because you see, sport is an ecosystem. When you talk about players coming from primary to secondary, there has to be university should be able to absorb this talent and help this talent step on to the next level. In the US, university sport
college
is really, if you want to understand why US are so dominant in sport, it's the universities.
Actually, if you want to understand how the uniqueness of university sports in the US is, actually look at the Olympic teams. Actually, it's not just US, even Europe. Like, look at the structure of these Olympic teams. 90%
are from colleges.
Are all college students or are recently out of college.
Some even here. Last year, I looked at the final between UCU, netball, between UCU and Victoria University. And both teams, like 99% had national team players across board. Then I looked at the volleyball team, fine also, national team cream. Then I looked at the basketball teams, men and women, national team players, and I'm like, okay, do federations understand what it means? University mean to these games?
I don't think it's about the federation or something. If you look at athletes, you probably live HSC when you're 19, 20.
No, only to say 18.
Yeah, 18 you get into the university. All you're thinking about is ball, books. If there is a girl trying to disturb you around, they have
that's
to
the third party.
They have to coexist. So and then the most important thing is you have the body. Your body is growing, and with the right structure, right training, you have to be there. You have no excuse.
And you don't have the responsibilities.
No, you don't. You don't.
Come later.
That's why I'm saying you have only two things. The third one is what you've added as a by the way. So university sport is the in thing. But for me, what my take home for UCU, or what I credit UCU for, is that every time they host, they improve on the facilities. It's like they have a legacy project ongoing. We were talking off air about the World University Game, World Netball Championship that happened in Makerere.
Yeah,
it's in our head. Or you go on YouTube and find the games were streamed, but if you go on ground, there's nothing that has remained there. Now that has taken the university like 10 years back, as opposed to host the event, tie a legacy project towards it, and make sure that project stays. You mentioned Ndeje. Ndeje was supposed to have one of the best running tracks in Uganda.
Yeah,
you get
the best of any university.
The best of any university.
In East Africa.
The Tatans, they did everything. Everything was on ground. But what happened is a conversation for, I think.
Yeah, but no, it is not for another day.
No, for the underworld. Yes.
The thing is this.
Charles feels we need to go into it. Charles, take it on. For us, we are going to keep quiet.
The reality is, once the equipment was brought in, right, the university hoped that the government would go ahead and give them the funding and the resources required to do the project. Actually, a technician came from China. The man stayed at the university for months, waiting for the money to come. But the government, I think it was the minister himself, the state minister for sport, promised that the funds would come. They never came. We wrote stories, we wrote opinions, pleading that this equipment would not be allowed to go to waste. And I think maybe someone in the government hoped that the university, we've given you the equipment, you do the rest. You go ahead with the installation of that track. But the university said it's so expensive, we can't do it. Now, it was about that time that there was a huge change in the administration of the university, where the focus went from sport to
academics.
I don't even know. I don't even think it's academics, because sport and academics go hand in hand. It's a myth to think that you enhance academics when you abandon sports, because a holistic approach is what develops. Are you trying to tell me that the Americans are not serious about academics because they do a role at sport? You can't say that. So it's unfortunate that is what has happened at Ndeje. And Ndeje now is a shadow of what it was when it comes to sport. Now the university, I think the chancellor is she's called
Professor Banja.
She might argue that maybe sport was not bringing in as much money as it should, and maybe you can have that discussion.
No, the thing is,
it's a reality.
This is what happened, because I used to run a project at the university. As soon as the change in administration happened, looks like they sent in machineries to do a cleanup, and the cleanup was do cost management. Can we run this at the least cost available? So I think when they looked at the construction of the sports facility vis-a-vis what the revenue the sports was bringing, there was a big mismatch. And to them, that was a big place. That was the first place to knock off. There are so many projects that died. Died. Stalled means it can be picked up after some time, but now this one's just died because they were looked at as cost centers with no future immediate return on investment. Yet you and me agree that sports is not an investment for now. Sam knows when you invest in a volleyball.
Please don't involve Sam.
No, Sam knows when you invest in a volleyball team now.
Hey guys, I'm just planning.
When you put money in a volleyball team now, they go for competitions 2-3 years. There is a kid who is in senior 2 who is watching, and that kid, in his head, he already knows because I'm playing volleyball. When I get to
university,
senior 6, I am going to UCU. So that's like a 5-year kind of investment, but he has put in now.
That is true.
But the administration, I think, looked at it and said, no, if we are putting 10,000 now, we want to get 15,000 immediately. And if we are getting 6,000, then we can do our
and it doesn't work like that. I once heard of, I think there was a time when UCU were very seriously contemplating cutting back on their sports investment.
True.
I think many years ago.
Yeah. Not actually many, about
even during
after COVID.
There was even that. There was that period even after COVID. But this story I had before COVID.
Yes.
Someone told me that the university commissioned an auditing company to investigate whether they are getting value for money, from sport.
Yeah.
And so that company went and found that the kind of brand equity that UCU get from the coverage they get from sport is in billions.
Yeah.
Is in billions. It's much more than the university invests in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to be someone who understands the value of brand equity to say, we may not be getting shilling for shilling on what we invest, but what we get in terms of respect, what we get in terms of
social capital.
Yes. Actually, in the long run, ends up benefiting us and bringing in money. UCU is a respectable university. When you talk about UCU, it's a respectable university. And part of the reason is because of the brand of UCU. You know, as a parent, as a guardian, you're very comfortable with your child going to UCU because you know that that is a genuine institution of learning. And part of that credibility that UCU has comes from the fact that they have a serious sports program. So I think that's why I said that what happened to Ndeje was sad, because it doesn't make sense given that if you look at where the government is.
Charlie, summarize. We are not going to
focus
finish.
of the government right now. The government is pouring money into developing sports facilities, right?
True.
So even among the government, there's the realization that we need sport as a country. It's a critical element of development. Now, when you see a major university taking a different direction at a time like this, it tells you there's a disconnect or there's a huge problem. I only hope that what has happened today is a temporary interruption, that
it's not.
No more service will be resumed sooner than later. It's my hope and prayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going for a short.
That is something that it's done. It's the same thing that happened to Nkumba. In the 2000s, before 2010, Nkumba University actually acquired land towards Kasenyi landing site to expand and build sports facilities. Okay? And there was a big plan about it. There was excitement and everything is going to move that side. But what kills most of these things is, I think, change in administration
and ownership.
Coupled with maybe nothing written down. I hope that's not what's happening to UCU, but you have lasted for all these 20 years. That means there's a blueprint you're following. Our biggest challenge is that today, Charles is running a program, and it is tied to him. It's
individually driven.
Yeah, so when Charles leaves, that project dies.
Yeah.
That project is gone.
If someone comes in who doesn't care for sport.
Okay, if Charles stays and the next supervisor to Charles is Elijah and is not at par with Charles, he will simply say, let's clear that off. Let me sabotage it. And they don't know that they are killing an entire generation of something.
That's true.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a short commercial break. They are going to eat me up.
I know you have different places in the university.
They are going to eat me up. No, not what you have said.
Yes, we know. Your people.
The sponsors are going to eat me up.
Yes,
let's go for a short commercial break. When we return, we are still talking university sport. Aba foreign sport mutusonyiwe. Today we are bali wano bayomba naye mutusonyiwe. Let's go for a short commercial break.
Freshness alerts. Fresh stuff on 94.8 XFM. Turn up.
You can't get fresher than this.
Today's hit music. Here's what people have to say.
I love it.
About radio in Kampala.
XFM. I love the swag, the style of presentation.
I really love their music. I really love the way they are so up to the young generation.
People is power. XFM is people.
My station.
Playing today's hit music 24/7. This is 94.8 XFM.
Noor, are you sick? Sick? Nope. Do I look sick to you? Well, I've observed you since yesterday. You've been swallowing tabs. Do you have any illness of the sort I should know? Feel free and tell me, because it's not advisable to take medication without a doctor's prescription.
Oh yes, Maggie. But you also know my issues with Tom. I do take them, but keep it to the two of us. I don't want other people to know about it. They might even tell my daddy, and he sent me away from home.
Fine, Noor. However, the immediate problem is not with these tabs you take. It's with the people you sleep around with.
But how does that concern me? As long as I don't get pregnant.
Noor, I can't believe you think like that. You're making a very big mistake. As teenagers, we have to be very careful about having sex. And much as we protect ourselves from getting pregnant, we stand higher chances of getting STIs, HIV, and other infections. The best way to avoid all these is by abstaining or using a condom. And if you can't use a condom, then get a faithful partner. Test for HIV/AIDS and the likes. Then you can freely enjoy family planning methods.
This message is brought to you by Nagro Teenage Information and Health Center in collaboration with Ministry of Health with financial support
by UNICEF.
Hey yo yo, hey. Kaba tema kaba tema nyota Mirinda Pepsi Mountain Kebera jokoro wangule birabo kakasa ruvimbo awangula byava mudiro kaba tema nyota kaba tema nyota kakasa ruvimbo
Temenyonta and win. Buy and drink any 300 ml Mirinda, Pepsi, 7-Up, Mountain Dew, or Evervest. Check under the ground and stand a chance to win from drones, Noahs, cash, border borders, flat screens, and so much more. This promotion is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Yellow! Market by Momo is calling. And the buzz is all about big deals on genuine products. Grab electronics, groceries, phones, and more at prices you will love. Everything is easy, safe, and delivered straight to you. Chakari! Shop online with Market by Momo. We deliver. Log on to market.momo.africa or use the My MTN app or the new Momo app to register and shop online. Market by Momo is from MTN and powered by MasterCard.
This is 94.8 XFM. Today's hit music. Turn up. XFM Sports in the game.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We have spent our time. We are in our last segment. Our last hour, not segment. Sam, before we leave, we have left university sport. Now let's talk basketball. Because, yes, now we are talking the national. Hey, now, Nam Blazers. Nam Blazers. Before Nam Blazers went into their second game in Bal, we had a discussion with you, and you assured me how they are going to go to another. And I told you point blank, no, we didn't stand a chance. Leading me to ask you, do you think our teams are ready for Bal?
Yeah, but we are not ready to win. You see, like the earlier discussion I had with you, 3-on-3, it takes about 3, 4, 5 times of going to the same event to learn how to compete there.
Yeah.
Now Blazers has gone for their first year.
Yeah.
Even winning a game in the first round that they did in Dar es Salaam was a blessing. Because see, if you look at the structures of teams in the BAL, the investment you have to know, the scouting you have to do to get the right players is very high. Very high. So that they can able to come and compete for you. Non-Blazers had almost less than a month to execute all those duties without the good players already committed somewhere. Because the other people have already scouted knowing they're going to play the ball. While the non-Blazer team has just gotten an opportunity to go and represent after a long meeting that took meetings and conversation and threats and...
That's why we are not ready.
Okay, that's why they are not ready, because they are going to somewhere to prove a point, but they don't even know how big it is. Because they have never been there. They don't have anyone who has been there, possibly apart from the players, who don't understand management of a team. They only understand playing basketball.
So it's not a problem of the club, it's a problem of the country.
It's a problem of the country. How you prepare going to the ball matters. So if our clubs are finding out that they're going to play in the ball a month to the tournament, they can't be ready. No. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to anticipate that I won or that I'm going to win, then I start investing in an area. The budget itself is so crazy, I don't want to talk about it. Now, when they went there, for me, I was only frustrated that they were beaten by more than 20 points per every game they lost. That's the frustration for me, because I still think they could find time to buy a shot somewhere and at least keep the scores respectable. But that said, they are at a place where they are learning. And I don't think that if they got a chance to go back next year, they will look the same way.
They will look the same way.
No, they won't. I trust me.
I mean, even Daniel will know about this. Competing on the continent is very challenging. But it's one thing to make additions and signings, but you need a very strong local core of players.
A very strong core.
Because you're limited on the number of additions that you can make. And when new players come in, you bring them in for 1 or 2 months. They're not going to have the chemistry that with the rest of the team, even among themselves, that you want. And you have to know one thing about, for when you add players, those players normally come with individual goals. When a player is added to the team, an American, a journeyman from wherever, he's looking for the next big gig.
Exactly.
So his focus is, I want to go and get my numbers in this tournament. So his goals, his individual goals, are just as
and
important, or even more important than his.
Yes.
So when he steps on the court, the priority is
him.
How am I going to look good? Now all those dynamics affect the kind of how well the team can play. So it's important for our teams to think seriously about how to develop the players they have. You have 3 years. Namongo has been in the league for
almost 3 years.
For 4 years. Okay, they came in 2020, but then they missed 2 years. So we played 2022, 2023, 24, 25. They had some young players like Peter Cheng. They let Peter Cheng go.
Who was their core?
They let him go. And every season they make all these signings at the start of the season. Of course, because they want to compete. But if you really want to have a strong team, you need to have at least 3 or 4 really genuinely good talents at home who can play at that level, who can help you at that level. And you can concentrate on, let's say, they had, for instance, Desmond or Willie so many years ago. If you get a player of that size, okay, Desmond is going to dominate the boards for us because he's good enough to dominate even at that level. We'll get a shooter, someone who can shoot. Let's train him. You see, you have always had the ability to train shooters. They had Sudi Ulanga, who was a marksman. They had Stephen Wondi. We battled with him down there many years.
Atel Isaiah.
Yes, they've had. You can get specialists and say, we need to have players who can at least give us something. And then when we add foreign players, so for instance, they went this year with Jimmy and Abu. They went with James Tony. Now those players helped them to win the league here, and of course they had every right to reward them at that level. But when you looked at them play, you felt that these players have given their best. Their best years are behind them.
The league level, they are good. When it comes to the bar level, they are way off.
Actually, honestly, I am going to say every one of us sees that their end is near. Those are players that even when they're giving their best, they are 60% broken, like they are injured everywhere. They're just actually pushing their limits, but they're not playing they're not at the peak of their time. They have passed that. They're not. They're just doing things they know. Like, see, I was telling someone that Jimmy right now is more efficient on the 3-point line than he is on a layup.
Yeah.
That should tell you a lot about how different.
You never thought that you would see the day.
He never loved to shoot because this one was one of his options. He would take you to the hoop, beat you anytime, and he's finishing because he had the agility to do that. Right now, safety net, one jump shot, throw it up and go back. Like it's so basic. Now,
so they went to the tournament and you had younger players on the bench, Ochera, Ivan Muhezi, Mugisha. Now these are players you should be preparing for next season because
they will be playing the next bar if you qualify.
Okello and so on. Those are players who have their eyes behind them. So if you're Namungo and you're going to the tournament, you're saying this tournament maybe is too early for us. So what we do,
let's invest in
young players because these are the ones. If we come back next year, that we're going to use. So one of the things that I've noticed in going for these tournaments a few times, you need to have a strong local core, and you need to be intentional about developing local players. You need to be intentional. You will be limited to the number of foreign players you can add, but ultimately, if your local players are not good enough,
then even the foreign won't help you.
Yeah, because they have come and respect a given core.
True. And then you also have the issue of the coaches. Now, when you bring in foreign players, you better have the coach who can coach them.
Finally, because Charles has admitted Escoda is not good enough.
No, that's not what he's saying.
No, that's your mind.
I've said it.
That's your mind. Okay.
We have had this debate.
That is not what Charles has said.
Yeah, thank you for
that. Is not what Charles has
said. I think we all have doubts with Esco as my friend.
And that is your statement.
And yes, I said we all.
Why do you?
We just talked about Esco because see. I was actually telling him recently after they won, I said, if you hadn't won, I was going to be among the first people to tell you to quit coaching. But now that you have won, my words are going to be fewer.
Yeah.
Because at least you have managed to put up a team that has won a championship. Now, coming to coaching at the BAL, all of us can actually say it also takes time to grow at that level. Now, for Esco, he didn't even do zone 5. I have done zone 5 at that level. It is a crazy... See, right now, everyone talks about the BAL. They don't know there was all the other tournaments people used to do that grew you in a FIBA competition and understand teams and structures. But actually, most people, when they talk about coaches, the things that Charles is talking about include management decisions.
Yeah.
Do they understand
a strategy?
What they need to do at this level? Yeah. Do they understand the kind of people they're supposed to bring on the table at this level? It's not just about you having a certificate of coaching or having the money or having the potential to sign the players. Who is scouting for you? Where do they come from? That all is an investment right now.
And how do they fit in within the identity?
Yes.
If you watch Namungo play this year, they don't have an identity.
Now, maybe I'll give you an example.
You can't say this is how they play. This is their game. Exactly. It was always a case of let's go. We have too much talent. Sam today is on. Let's go with Sam.
We because they had the money. They could actually get anyone who was good enough to play, but not because they're actually fully fit. And we saw it the whole season. They're struggling to show who really is there. Core 5,
the starting 5. Yeah.
That and I hope that they are growing into that.
Like majority of our teams in the league.
Country. Yes.
For me, I want to chip in on the NAM Blazers BAL experience. To me, from the word go. When the moment they were told, or the moment they got the right to go for it, even the qualifiers, and the words around the way they were organizing themselves, just pointed to one thing: they were not ready, and yet they had to represent. So I think management ran into a quick fix to try and save face. So they went to the qualifiers, saved face. They came back to the league. They had that chaos of the first game. We don't want to play, we are going to play, or something like that. We're being disrespected, and the rest of it. So that played into their heads psychologically. Now, after they were drained after winning the league, they went into BAL now, the late 16, with very little energy.
Very
little energy. It's like you've done 5 kilometers. It's not the same energy you're going to use to do the next 2 kilometers. Yet the next 2 kilometers are very important for you to finish. So they went into the 6th kilometer with very little energy. And it points back to what you guys talked about. When should these teams know they are going to get into a higher level of a higher competition? I'm going to throw you back to volleyball. Volleyball now, all the countries know the teams that are going to go into the African Club Championship, which will happen in April. So you have 6 or 7 months to prepare for it. Now that is most of the countries. Now the countries who run their league based on the year schedule still will end in January. So they have 3 months to try and do something. And the advantage is that officially there's a transfer window within that allows you to pick those players. So I am Nemo Stars. I've won the league. I've won the National Club Championship in October. I've won, but I know I have issues in 2 departments. So I have this all 6 months to try and fix it, and even invite those players to come and train with me. You get it? It's a project. It's deliberate. But if you have 2 weeks, you have to present a team at a top competition like that, you're lying.
Danny, all that comes back to the disorganization of the Federation, of Samuel's committee. Did I have to mention Samuel's committee?
Actually, I didn't know you had a committee, but I'm happy. Yeah. But you see, honestly, the biggest question we always be asking is how ready are all these African teams for this championship? I'm going to use the city FIBA itself. A few months ago, you are likely to play the tournament here. Next month, you have moved here. You get the idea. They're even not sure where they're going to put the event. Then they are inviting you to that event. The nitty-gritties, the costs involved. You might actually have a good player who cannot travel to Nairobi because for some reason he's not allowed to travel to Kenya, and you didn't know, but you had planned because they just moved the event. Now, you may actually say Blazers did put up a bad show. It doesn't matter. If they pick their lessons up, next time when they win, they should be better. That's what I expect from them. If they don't, then they are City Sanders. The first time they played in that tournament, so they played. Okay? This time they just went and got all the Kenyan core, made it one team.
One team and played.
And actually, they are so bad a team that they don't even have a future if they won this time. Because their age gap between the guys they are using and the ones they imported is so scary. Okay?
For me, it is sad because when I look at a team like UCU and I look at Nick and UCU have the right template. Because a player goes to UCU at one level and then the institution and Nick will push them and they will get to another level. They will always improve. Players go to UCU and always live better than when they joined.
Until they join other teams.
The challenge always is, and for instance, I look at Bali.
I didn't want to mention names.
Bali was more exciting at UCU than he has been at the Oilers. And yet he has had more exposure at the Oilers.
That's true.
But of course, what for me is unfortunate with the UCU model is that they have players for a short time, 3-4 years. Yes.
Actually, now it's 2.
Yeah.
You
have other clubs
by the third year. Someone is already talking to your player.
True. You have other clubs that can have these players for a long time, but these other clubs do not have a program for how to take this player from one level to another. And that is where our clubs have to go. You have to be able to develop. When Jimmy left Power and went to the Oilers, he became elite. Oilers took Jimmy from a player who was often benched in Power to a player who occasionally could look as good as any guard in Africa.
Do you know why?
There were days when Jimmy was good enough to go against any other
because player. Of the coaching.
But what I'm saying is that
the whole management structure.
What I'm saying is that if you're Namuwongo, you need to know I can't let Cheng go. Because Cheng is young, he may not be as good as maybe the best, but he has the potential. The other players I'm bringing in
does the coach know that there is potential in that particular player?
The management, that's the management.
Besides the management, does the coach say, okay, we're having 18 players, but out of the 18, at least 1 or 2 of these players must stay?
This is the thing. Coaching is important. But more than that, you need to have technical people in management, because technical people will appoint the right coach.
Because teams don't have here technical people, so we think the coaches are more technical than the management.
Sometimes the coach
also
because a coach has to not develop players. The coach may not know what it means to develop
there is a lot involved in management of a team, including coaching. That's why sometimes I tell people, someone looks at Nick and they only see him on court for 2 hours being emotional. They don't understand that he wakes up at 6 to go and prepare a player for 4 hours.
I know.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not something even UCU pays him to do. by something that he's passionate about, that he will decide and say, meet me at 8, we're going to work out up to...
You want to work on your game.
Work on your game up to this time. Meet me at 6, we're going to work out up to this time. Now, he spends the whole day doing that with many different kids to get them where he thinks they should be. Now, when a player like Titus Fayed leave that structure, then they have a coach like Tendo who might actually still hold them to a level of accountability, give them a lot of things to do, but he's looking at them at a different level, and has high expectation for that. Now, that is a crazy part to think about. But actually, what I wanted you guys to think about is that Cheng is a player that we are building on, that he should be patient, or is that the thing that he's alive, that he needs the contract that they're giving Banza?
No, does the club give him assurance that you are the core of this team in the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, but it might be, for him to understand the core might be how much you're giving him. And so it gets complicated there. And this is what I want to talk about. I don't know about how Stoyel pays, but I'll tell you, one of the things that Stoyel managed to do for a long time was keep that core for a long time without necessarily talking about money. I don't think Okwee started playing for Stoyel because of money. They just got him to a level where Stoyel became like his only home. So if he can survive, it doesn't matter how much he's earning, he was happy. Now, the young Tonys, the Jimmy and Abus, that's how they started the club. They didn't necessarily got the club because it was offering them a lot of money. There's something they saw that Aji was building together with Mande that they love to be part of.
But again, Sam, we need to be realistic that by the time State Oilers came, majority of our so-called big clubs were declining in terms of finance, in terms of talent. So,
but you see, for me, that's the problem wasn't that. The problem was actually how we had actually managed basketball for a long time. I'll give you a reason. Power still had 2 great squads in those years. They had enough money. Out of the 10 years.
Oilers wanted to sign Paul Odong and he refused.
Yes, he went to Power because Power could offer anything. Now, 4 years of that Power, I think about 4 seasons. 4 or 5 years.
It's already declining around 2018, 2019.
The money they spent, they would have been at least. And actually, this is the first part that actually they got swept in most of the other 2 finals. That for me was even more painful.
And yet you see, you took the Oilers
to 7.
Deciders thrice.
You get the idea.
There was also a semi-final where
Charles and Sam, we are forgetting that declining does not start on the day the team.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But
already the team was declining. When you look at that management,
that's what
we are saying.
What the Oilers did is they exposed
the management dilemma, and that's what Aji is special at. Aji did not just come and say, I'm a rich man, I'm going to come here and spend money. He came and changed how we spends money. You look at it, he always had a thin crowd, kind of squad. Very thin.
Very small.
But the pressure he puts on Kami, the pressure he puts on Koma, the pressure he puts on Jimmy, he kind of got them and said, you have potential, and I need to see that potential every day. And then he gets some core senior players, puts them in. So he would win a champion by adding one Muzungu in Bar, in zone 5, and then they win. Like, I think that's the mind that some managers didn't have here in Uganda. They have money, but they don't necessarily understand how to build a very core, strong team.
I look at a player like Peter Obleng.
Yes.
I know, for instance, Peter Obleng may be hard to manage. I mean, some talks about the mindset of these players. I know it's a challenge. You know, a player like Peter Cheng may want $1,000 and the management doesn't think he warrants it.
It deserves it.
Obleng may think like he's a star. But sometimes when you watch these players play, you realize actually Obleng is gifted.
They have a spark.
Obleng is gifted. As a player, his athleticism is natural. He's very athletic. Obleng can get off a 3-pointer. He can get off a 2-pointer. Obleng he has some things there that as the management you can work with. You can say, okay, instead of having Sebagala on the bench and paying him that money, let's cut that money and give that to Obleng. And push Obleng to work hard. You know, and tell him, okay, you want this money, we're going to cut off a young player. You see what even NBA teams, what they do is that they have tiers of salaries. You have players who have the upper echelons, then you have those in mid-level, and then you have the rookies, and then you have those at the extra end of the bench. They don't earn the same.
Some explained it a bit.
Yes, they don't earn the same. So, and those NBA players, teams, you'll never find an NBA team that has more than 3 superstars.
No.
Because difficult to afford.
You can't afford. So when you have a team like Namuongo, it has 10 stars. It's a bit difficult.
Even for the coach, it is very difficult to manage
such a squad. Get 3 superstars, get some role players, get some young players, and make sure these 3 superstars live up to their name. You have to deliver. You expect 20 points.
The question I want to ask Sam. Sorry, I'm taking over.
It's okay.
Is that how do we strike a balance between when these teams qualify and when they go for these competitions, we are talking about BAL. We all agree that the time is too short.
It is too short.
What can be done?
There are two things that are happening right now. One is that as a federation, there's the plans that we start the league earlier so that we can finish always as early as July. Yeah, so that one by July. But two, if we fail, the mindset for me actually is, even without us doing all that, is if teams that believe that they have a plan to go to BAL, they should actually scout their squad as early as yesterday. See, me as you see you, it doesn't matter how long it takes me. The best way to go to BAL is actually if one day I woke up and got two extraordinary young boys that just showed up. Like a squad we had in 2017, that when we got the Dex, we had Ivan Manyika, Namake, we have Desmond, there's a white boy. Remember that white boy? There's a white boy that came in that was 6'11".
Yeah, guy was tall.
You get the idea. We just end up with all crazy kids. These clubs have to be able to invest in such a structure. Build, like, I'm going to borrow what Charles was saying, smaller squad, but let people be in their business end. Yeah, so they have a job description on what to do. And so you go out there and say, we are among the top 4 teams, but we are not UCU. So UCU is number 4, then the other 3 who are there. The other 3 who are thinking we may actually end up in BAL if we win this year. Because I think we had to build a squad to win the league. So if they're building a squad to win the league, already they should start by structuring it that way. And then you know that by the time we're going to the BAL, I'm going to report my 2 players that have already phoned and contacted. Get ready. Watch our games. They're online. Please stream them. Learn how we play. By the time you come in here, you get the idea.
The problem is we don't know.
Let me also just say this.
True. Okay.
One of the things that makes those Americans and foreign players good is that they work hard. They really work hard.
Yeah.
You know, I know of players who are in teams and the teams they have paid their gym fees and the players have not gone there.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You see, when these foreign players come and they're part of these teams, their ethic is extremely different.
It's professional.
Yes.
Actually, it's a job.
Yeah.
They show up, they work.
So one of the reasons our players don't perform at that level is not because they're not talented. It's because the management doesn't know that this is how a really good player lives. That you work twice a day.
Allow me say this. We're preparing for 3-on-3 to travel to Brazil. And I had a conversation with the boys about what is out there. And I got the guys that have gone before and we had a chat and I told them, I know you're talented, blah, 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 but what is out there is hotter than you think. They are not the African.
No longer talent.
They are not these African players they're going to meet and knock around and cross over and they fall. And so we spoke to them for a long time. But you'll sense as young people, they look at you and thinking,
like, nah.
Do you understand what potential we have? you know what we can do. Like they feel like you're demeaning their talent level when you're telling them that it's not as easy as it looks. So we had that conversation and then we prepared. Then we had challenges during preparation because you have set practice. Then some kids find an excuse and somehow they think they'll get out with it. So they get the talent and one of them actually sent a message and says, these guys are hard. And that's all you could say. And then me and the guy that we were with, we just laughed. So that's what was the way we were laughing at them. I told them, because we told them that already. In June, that now that you have qualified, you have 5 months to prepare yourself mentally and physically to compete. For them, they were comfortable with their handles. They know they would cross over some guy at the second and score, and they were sure they would do the same. And our warning was, it won't be that easy.
It won't work.
Now, there's a group of young people that until they go into a BAL, get knocked, and realize that no matter what talent I thought I had, it is on zero balance right now.
It's not good enough.
I have to go back. And you'll be shocked. You'll find, if you ask the umbrella guys that how many of them have said, when's the gym opening? They want to start working. Because they have realized out there, it is not as easy. And the excuses that I've had can't work for me anymore.
They can't.
Because guys try to get you see, people call them shooters. I told them, wait till you get the basters if they can shoot. You guys saw they were shooting. People could not even take an open look shot and score it.
Because it's not there.
Because they know
one, the coach is getting on him and
exactly.
How did you allow that? You won't get another one.
So when they have gotten that corner, now they realize how tough it is.
Charlie, I don't want to talk about the tactics because we might.
They're going to come in.
We might see.
Tactics for me. You talk about how I know we are running out of time, but you asked the question, Danny. How do you prepare for BAL? You prepare for BAL at the start of the season.
Yeah.
you don't wait.
Not at the end.
At the end, if you have ambitions of going to BAL
immediately, start
and you
shooting.
manage and you think you have a good chance of going to BAL, you say, what do we have to do to go to BAL? We need local players who can play at that level. Jimmy Enabu excelled during his prime. Now he's past his prime.
But I think last time we played was 2018, 2019.
He used to work extremely hard. Jimmy used to put in more work personally than what he was doing at the team.
That's true.
And that's the mentality of players.
Let me tell you.
You tell us about Daudi Okello, for instance.
No, let's start with Jimmy.
Yeah.
The time we had Urban TV, you would invite Jimmy for an interview at midday, and he would tell you, I'm going to come. 30 minutes to the interview, the man tells you, I'm still finalizing my routine. But within that time, he would show up and train.
Yeah.
After the show up and do the show. After the show, you ask him, now
where are you heading? It's like training.
I'm going to rest for about 1 hour. We have afternoon session, and he would go back and train.
Yeah.
You ask him about Daudi Okello. He's one of the guys who has spoiled Ugandan volleyball for now, because the talent we have with potential are scared. They are scared.
He has raised the bar so high.
He has raised the bar so high that when these kids hang around him, they'll be like, what? What is this man doing? Is he training to join the army? Is he training to join the army? Because a man wakes up in the morning, he has a morning routine. He has a lunchtime routine. He has an evening routine. Yes, you get it, eh? It's completely different. So he's scared, these kids.
They're like, if this is what it takes to be great, I don't want any part of it.
So we have a lot of work.
Now, if you're building a team to compete at the BAL, that has to be the culture in the club. Before you bring in the Americans,
Yes.
The players have to know you join Danny's team.
It's work.
You earn the 3 million they give me at the end of the month.
We are not going to finish.
But we have teams that train 3 days a week, and you want to compete at the BAL?
We have spent our time. We have spent our time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry we have not spoken about international sport. James Mario.
A lot can be said on
yes, we are.
We can go read about
I would like to give my weekend predictions. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City are winning their matches convincingly, and Arsenal will drop another points again. Charlie toyongera kwa utinzo kugenda mu time endala. Before we leave, Danny Toyo, don't say anything, but please, is it called the Volleyball Federation of Uganda? Please stop putting games on a Sunday.
Why?
It's not. You can't put games on Sunday from morning
to
evening. It does not make sense.
No, the games that are happening from morning to evening are not for all the teams.
It doesn't matter.
You need to look at the fixture.
For the important games are when they are supposed to be.
It doesn't matter.
No, I think what the federation. Let me try and preempt.
They said don't speak.
They are trying. I need to speak. He has already enticed the listener.
Talk about volleyball.
So if we don't say anything about it, the listener will go unhappy. I think there's a plan to have midweek games and Friday night games.
Like now, what's happening in Rwanda.
Yeah, like what's happening in Rwanda. Now that I think basketball is also out of the way and the indoor is a bit available. But I hope it happens this half of the season. If it doesn't happen, it must happen in the second half of the season, because now most teams are going to start preparing for the Zone 5 Club Championship and the African Club Championship. So they need to get in shape.
Okay, now we have had that. Games are going to be on on Friday and Saturday, because like you see, I think UC is playing on Sunday, this Sunday, and I'm like, my resting day is on a Sunday. You expect to?
They played today.
Intended 3 to UC 1 3 2.
They played today.
They played at 9.
But also anyway, that's also another topic. ICG Tigers is facing. Let's go. Our show is done.
It's a final break.